Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You guys know I'm a Dallas Cowboy homer. I'm a big fan of the 90s Dallas Cowboys and all of the players that are there. And Michael Irvin definitely is one of my favorites. And from the time that everything happened with Michael Irvin, it just didn't seem to smell right. And I was always taught that you are innocent until proven guilty, but it just felt like from the beginning that Michael Irvin was guilty until proven innocent. Fortunately, he has gotten this settlement taken care of, and there's a lot of questions because we'll probably never know exactly what happened between Marriott and Michael Irvin's camp, but we may be able to get some clarity because I am actually very, very blessed to have Dimitri Shakhnevich. I think I got it close because you know I'm the name butcher, and I want to bring him in here. He reached out to me. Fortunately, he has seen a few of my videos and knows that I've been talking about the Michael Irvin situation, and I really, really appreciate it because this guy, he's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the description. You definitely want to check him out. He is basically one of the celebrity attorneys here that definitely knows everything that's going on. He's also a professor. Dimitri, I butchered your name, and I apologize completely on that. How are you doing today?
I am good. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah, can you give us a little background on yourself so that way we can tell everybody, because they definitely need to subscribe to your channel and definitely check you out.
Sure. So I'm a lawyer here in New York. I do criminal work and some civil work as well. And beyond that, I also teach at a college called John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Not this past semester, but generally for the past several years, I've been doing that. And I started a YouTube channel in connection with that initially for my students, and now it's kind of growing, getting bigger and bigger, where I talk about the law and interview folks. And I do a lot of this kind of stuff, a lot of media interviews and traditional media, and obviously this new wave of media with folks like yourself. So I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Okay, so it was kind of surprised that literally like 3 o'clock in the morning we got word that Michael Irvin was being reinstated basically by the NFL Network, and we heard that there was a settlement. Do you think that, and typically, and again, let's be clear here, Dimitri has nothing to do with this case. He does not have the facts and things. He's just doing background on what is typical as far as how one of these cases go. I'm not an attorney. I don't play one here. I'm just, a fool on YouTube that's just trying to figure out what's going on. Typically, something like this doesn't come together real quick. It would be something that they maybe have been negotiating back and forth and kind of got close to the beginning of the season and maybe kind of made a last minute deal, or how do you think it would have worked out?
So, these things work in different ways. Now, look, a settlement, right, is something that all sides always, I recommend it to my clients, all lawyers should. A settlement is something that all sides should always be exploring. Litigation is long, painful, expensive, right? Particularly a case like this, which has so many parties, so many moving parts, right? And a case like this, if it were to go to trial, would be a big deal, right? And it would be a big deal not only for the folks involved, but the court system as well. So a settlement is not only what the parties should be interested in, a settlement is typically what the court system is interested in, right? And so it's not surprising. Most cases settle, right? Well over 90%. And this is just one of them.
Okay. Reading some of the comments of things, you've got people that just hate Michael Irvin. They'll say he's guilty of sin and he probably ended up just dropping the case and apologizing. But more than likely, there probably was money exchanged probably for Marriott, basically, a non-disclosure agreement, I would imagine. And, maybe Marriott said, here's $5 million or something. I'm just throwing a number out there, something like that. And you'll never talk about this again. To me, it seems like that this could have gotten bad and ugly for the NFL as well, because it seems like they would be brought into this whole situation, and maybe the NFL kind of would have worked to try and make this thing happen.
look, it's tough to speculate when it comes to these things, but let's keep in mind this isn't a criminal case, right? This is a civil case. So when you throw around phrases like presumption of innocence and so on and so forth, those are criminal case phrases. They are good phrases. They should apply in every case. They do apply. Every person charged with a crime is entitled to rely on those kinds of things. But civil cases are different, right? Civil cases typically involve money, right? And when it comes to defamation, defamation is a tough area of law, right? Because on one hand, what you're trying to do is you're trying to prevent somebody from lying about somebody else, right? But on the other hand, we have the First Amendment here in the United States, right? People can say whatever they want, and generally speaking, a lie isn't chargeable as a crime, and it's hard to sue for it. And so what happens in these kinds of cases when dealing with public figures, right, notable people, as the law refers to it, you need to show actual malice. And that means different things in different places, but really you have to show that the person making a statement either knew that it was false or had some idea that it may be false. And that's where a lot of these cases die, right? That's why a lot of celebrities don't sue media outlets for defamation, because you have to prove that a person making a statement effectively knew it was false in order to be held liable for defamation. So at the outset, bringing a lawsuit like this is just tough if you were anybody, not if you're Michael Irvin specifically, because the elements are tough to satisfy. You got to satisfy that requirement. And so bringing this case up in front of a jury would be tough just based on that. But of course, the specifics of this will be unknown, and it's very tough to speculate. I know some of the media reports seem to indicate that no impropriety took place, right? That's all possible, that's all possibly true, and that would have to be flushed out in court, which now we'll never see a good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, it seems like for all parties involved, the best thing for this thing is just to go away. You know, when you looked at it, who knows what was said between them, and if it was what they said it was, or what Michael Irvin said it was. In this day and age, with the way things are going in the world, I can't see that there was anything that could have been said to her that was enough for him to lose his job. To me, it just looked like this is one of those things that maybe Marriott got ahead of themselves, and then this thing just started snowballing down. And the best thing for everybody was to say, let's try and figure out if this can go away.
Mark, in these kinds of cases, whenever you have a celebrity and whenever you have somebody that really works for a network or a sports team, or you can go down the list, you have in these contracts what are called morals clauses, right? Good conduct clauses. And those moral clauses basically say, and they really can't be challenged in court in any real effective way, they basically say that if the employer thinks that the employee did something wrong, they can just do whatever they want, basically.
True.
Right?
Okay.
Irrespective of the level of proof. So when you say that nothing that was said would warrant that conduct, you may be right? The case settled.
But they may have viewed it differently.
But it's those morals clauses are pretty tough. That being said, Michael Irvin did seek to enforce his rights, and he seemed to have gotten what he wanted. Yeah. And there's something to be said for that, I suppose.
Okay, well, at least it's all under the bridge. It seems like actually for him, he's got a full-time gig now with Fox Sports. It looks like ESPN is kind of left holding the bag there. They're the ones that really lose out on here. Marriott, well, they're a multi-billion-dollar company, so they're still partners of the NFL. And as we know, the NFL ain't going anywhere. So it seems like everybody comes out okay, except for maybe the alleged victim. I don't know how her life has probably changed because of this. And of course, like I said, ESPN. It's all interesting. Okay. Well, I guess that's all we got on that. From here on out, he's just got to watch his back, I would say, and make sure that there is nothing at all that could come back at him.
That's right. Look, it's public figures are subjected sometimes to this kind of conduct. Whether what he did was right or wrong, nobody knows. Nobody will ever know. This is just another example of the legal system kind of taking shape in light of this. That's all.
Well, I guess in the end, it works. It may take time, but it works. Well, Dimitri,
We would hope that it works all the time, right?
we would hope so. Doesn't always, but sometimes it does. Well, Dimitri, I appreciate you taking time out. I know you're a very, very busy man, and I ask you guys to definitely check out Dimitri's channel. I will put the link in the description here, and I hope that we won't actually need you for anybody else being in hot water, but I would definitely love to talk with you some more. By the way, I'm just curious, who's your football team?
I'll say you'll probably get upset with me, and what I'm going to say.
Not with all the trolls I have.
I'm not a huge football fan.
Nothing wrong with that.
I watch football to some big sports guy. But I'm of Eastern European background.
Yeah.
I came here as an immigrant, so I don't really know much about football. I watch it sometimes with friends. I obviously watch the Super Bowl. I'm one of those guys that just watches the Super Bowl every year. I've been to a few games, but I appreciate it, and I'm learning. I can tell you that.
Well, I tell you what, I'll hold a spot with the Dallas Cowboys fan base for you, okay? And you already got that light blue right there. That looks kind of cowboyish. When I look at your jacket and mine, that's just natural. So go for America's team.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark.
All right, you have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye bye.